And you go into European family, they start talking all kind of trash to you. Well, go into their family, go into their coats of arms. They're Moors. They're not going to tell you about that Yaqubian experiment, are they? Not the real truth. You know, but that's not, contrary to what most people think, that's not a negative. A lot of people misrepresent that information. It wasn't done for evil intent. It was done to release some karma. And because of falling of civilization, to get back. Because we also needed lighter bodies. That comes from great experiments. So don't misunderstand that. So don't get caught up in that thing that you see out there, you know, white and black people. That's friction. That's total fiction. And that's evil meanness. There's human family and you got nationalities. Respect that. But ultimately, you're the daddy. The problem is that you fell asleep. And they traded places with you. Because you start following after gods of Rome that you didn't know anything about. Because you're dealing with beliefs instead of facts. And he robbed you. That's basically all what happened. And stole your birthright. Or put it another way, you sold it. Like in the book of, they'll tell you in a code manner, coded, like in the book of Genesis, in the Heliotext, chapter 25, 2 and 5 makes what? 7. And they'll tell you about Isaac, son of Abraham, and Rebekah, who married Isaac, and she had 2 sons, Jacob and Esau. And Jacob stole Esau's birthright for a bowl of red pottage. It's code, red. You understand? And Esau disrespected, thought his birthright was of no value, what good is it going to do me? Then he became Jacob's servant. Jacob fooled Isaac because he was going blind, and Rebekah aided in deceiving so that Jacob could steal all of Esau's inheritance. Well, that's coded, and that's you. And they reversed it in the womb. Now Rebekah was with child, and she had 2 sons, Isaac's children, offspring of Abraham. So these are dealing with descendants of Abraham. And all the so-called religions claim they're tied to Abraham, which is really modern, truthfully. And it says, in her womb was 2 different nations, 2 different manner of people. Look at that seal again. You got dual seal, but the dual seal is one. It's a metaphysical lesson. And you're living it right now. You want your birthright back? You want your inheritance back? You better understand what's been said to you. And all of those who say they don't know, they've been told anyway. Whether they're Christians, Jews, Muslims, etc. They've all been told. And they're all going to be charged with upholding that law. And if they don't, that includes us, I guarantee you, beyond a shadow of doubt, with my last breath, you'll be sorry. And it's to a degree out of our hands in the sense that the cosmic mother is taking this battle up now. So when the prophet moved off with the message, the spirit of our ancestors took that space. And anybody don't carry it out, you're getting hooked. Really? We're going to fulfill this, or we're going to pay the consequences. The European sons are going to tell you the truth. And if they don't, they're going to fulfill the consequences. And if you don't agree to this principle, you're all going to pay the consequences. And there is no way out. I don't care who tells you anything to the contrary. What the prophet did was simply give us some keys not some emotionalism or some belief system, but keys to get out of this mess that we got ourselves into. You know, in other words, he didn't say, well, you know, feels though this way, or just love stuff. And no, he gave us actual keys. And he says, there's but one issue. And that is the enforcement of this Constitution, because it's divine principles. And if you don't enforce those principles, which is isonomy, which is that compass in the square, which means equal rights for everyone in the society. That's why it was set up on divine principles of nature's God and nature's law. Don't carry it out. Don't worry about what men say. Don't worry about what their customs are. Nature's going to kick your butt. You want to save yourself? You want to save this nation? Enforce isonomy. Enforce the Constitution. And it's yours. Don't look at it as the Europeans' document. It's yours. If you pay attention, he has been outside the law because he hasn't carried it out. And he, in order to come into the caste system that the Moors had, the Whig-a-Moor party, they called the Whigs party, Whig-a-Moor party, start calling themselves white peoples. Because they could not be free white people. Because it does not mean Caucasian race. Does not mean European race. It's a caste. And so is black. And black is the lowest caste. Now, that's why they don't want you to have the third and the fourth edition of Black's Law Dictionary, because it's in there, but they edited it out of the later editions. That's why the third and fourth is the killers. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're filing lawsuits, this is the body of information that must be in your mind already. It must not be a piece of information that, you know, I heard that before. Don't go there. It must be at the root of the source of your thinking when you walk before Rome. When you walk before the Romans, you better be Moabite for real if you got any defense. And you've got the biggest gun in the world. It's called the truth. And that's that scimitar, Adul. If you don't use it, don't worry, they're going to take your head. You understand? This is the Goliath principle. You know what I mean? Really, that's what it is. In the book of Daniel, we're talking about that, the monster, you know, with legs of iron, feet of clay. That represents the corruption. So when they got that sword over your head, you take your sword and you hit them feet. It means the foundation. And the foundation, you hit them with the law. And the first law is yourself. But you cannot be the law if you don't know yourself. Keep that in mind. And before I get too far away, let me get back to what we talked about before. Indexus prohibitorum, back in the dictionary. That's how proud they are. Because they know we all sorcered up.